Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a company that's electrifying the battery tech world, or at least trying to. We'll see if they can keep their financial circuits from shorting out given the amount of debt they mention in this report. First, a quick spark. American Battery Technology Company, or ABTC, just dropped its latest quarterly report. We're going to decode whether this company is truly powering up or just burning through cash and promises. Make sure you're subscribed for these corporate deep dives, and hey, check out our Discord community linked in the description if you want to talk about that after the video. Scroll index fall to form 10Q scroll. Alright, let's jump right in and see what's cooking. This report is basically a snapshot of what the company's been up to for the 3 months ending in March of 2025. They're talking about everything from their financial health to any legal issues they might be facing. Scroll, unaudited, condensed, consolidated balance sheet scroll. Let's get into the numbers because honestly, that's where the real story is. If we scroll down to their balance sheet, which gives us a quick look at what the company owns and owes, we can see they have about $2.8 million restricted cash. That means they can't just use that money freely, which isn't ideal. Scroll accounts payable and accrued liabilities. Note Keo in scroll. Clay scroll looking at the other side of the balance sheet, their total liabilities, or what they owe, are about $10.8 million. This is a really small number compared to some other parts of the balance sheet. When you compare that to what they own, their total assets, which are approximately $76.4 million, it means they are okay for now, but they need to keep growing. Scroll unaudited, condensed, consolidated statements of operations scroll. Let's take a look at the condensed consolidated statements of operations. This part shows how much money the company made and spent. Revenue, or money coming in from customers, was only about $79,000. Meanwhile, the cost of goods sold, that's how much it cost them to make whatever they're selling, was $3.6 million. You can see there is a gross loss, a loss before even taking into account a lot of expenses. Okay, so how are they handling the company? Turns out those expenses, their general and administrative expenses, were another $3.6 million for the quarter. And research and development, which for a tech company is important, came in at $3.2 million. So when you add all that up, American Battery Technology Company lost about $11.4 million this quarter. That shakes out to about 14 cents per share. Last year it was a 19-cent loss per share, so they are going in the right direction for profitability. Scroll stockholders' equity scroll. Time for the condensed consolidated statements of stockholders' equity. This section shows how ownership in the company is changing over time. As of March of 2025, the company has sold 88.3 million shares, giving them a total equity of roughly $65.6 million. It's up from roughly $61. Now let's check out where the cash is actually going by scrolling to the condensed consolidated statements of cash flows. This shows how the company is generating and using cash. Scroll net claw loss scroll. So the net loss, which we already talked about, was $36.5 million. From the table, it's clear that their operations are still draining cash. It's a big difference from last year. You want that cash to be positive as a company grows. That is what they were hoping for from the financing activities they did. Seems that they got around 25.9 million. That's pretty good. Alright, those were the quick and dirty financials. Now let's move on to the fine print, which is found in the notes to the financial statements. This is usually boilerplate, but this is a huge deal. The report actually notes that there is substantial doubt that the company can continue as a going concern within the next year. To say it simply, they're unsure if they can stay afloat. This is a bit of a red flag. They acknowledge it depends on getting some income and more financing. It also appears they have a lease which will expire late 2027, so at least they will still have a roof over their head. Alright, let's move on to warrants, because in a report like this it might have an effect on future profitability. In general, warrants can create a bit of uncertainty as they're basically options to buy shares at a set price, which can mess with the company's stock price. Now, what's a corporate filing without a little legal drama? Let's see what ABTC mentions when we scroll to their section on legal proceedings. They mentioned that they follow mine operation guidelines and need to have enough financial assurance to follow through with those guidelines. That is a small red flag to keep an eye out for. Of course, they have a whole section on risks. They are basically saying, hey, a lot could go wrong. The key risk is whether the company can actually ramp up and commercialize their current operations. So now let's bring it all together. American Battery Technology Company definitely has some potential, but it is burning a lot of cash right now. The lithium-ion battery recycling facility seems promising, and that government funding is not something to ignore as it can definitely help. The major weakness though, that substantial doubt about the company's ability to stay afloat. You can't just ignore that as an investor. This is a high risk, high reward play right now. If you really believe in their tech and their ability to execute, it might be worth a small investment, but definitely do your homework before diving in. The big risk here is the possibility of the company defaulting, which could cause major losses for shareholders. So be careful. Alright, what do you think? Is ABTC a long-term winner or a flash in the pan? Jump in the comments and let me know what you think. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you give that like button a tap and subscribe for more corporate dissections. Also, be sure to swing by our Discord server. There's a link down below. Thank you.